Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do technical analysis on oil and gas. I've been doing this one quite a bit. I do think oil is looking quite good. I'm going to look at some of the companies that I own, kind of my overweighted positions. You get to see what they are. I'll do some charting on them, and you guys can learn how to chart some of these guys and what I'm looking for. So let's get in here. This is just my financial opinion. Please don't use it as advice. And here we go with oil and gas. So we've got the oil man. And again, we broke out of this pattern here. And we are heading on higher. And we could head on a good ways higher over time. It doesn't mean that we're going to go straight up. We're obviously going to have down days and things will be mixed in. But that's looking pretty good. We've got natural gas, and natural gas had a monster day today, $6.31. I know someone on the channel in the comments section was trying to short natural gas at $5. They said, oh, this is the top. It's like, when things go like this, I would not try to do shorting or anything. I let my companies just ride it. We have a energy crisis in China and in Europe. With natural gas. And if we ship our natural gas overseas, it's obviously going to raise the natural gas price here. And if they have a massive crisis, it's probably going to divert some of that natural gas to overseas. So I think $6.31 is still cheap for natural gas. We are heading into winter. It's probably going to go higher. But I can't tell you the path that it's going to take. I can't tell you if we're going to pull back in the next couple of weeks and then rocket higher, or if we're just going to continue to rocket higher. What I do is I don't try to make those type of investment bets. I buy it when it's cheap. I wait for the crisis to come like we have, and then I just ride it on higher. And I don't think this is going to be resolved this year. I don't think it's going to be resolved in the next 5 years. So I see this as a long-term investment, and I'm going to ride all of this higher. I'm going to keep my money invested. I'm not trading in and out. I'm not worried if this goes up and down in the short term. I don't care. What I care about is getting good entry points on cheap investments. This has been moving. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it make money. Now, here's SM Energy. I've owned this one for over a year now. And we got a little black candlestick. We're coming up into some resistance. It may want to pull back to this $26 area before moving higher. Again, I'm holding it. I'm holding on. I'm not doing anything. Now, looking at it from a little bit bigger picture, this is obviously a bigger picture here. I'm going to throw in this guy here. And what we did is we broke through, we back tested, and we're moving on up. So that is a fantastic thing because I've owned this all the way from $1.50. You're going to say, oh, you have no risk, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? Try riding hundreds of thousands of dollars on a very volatile stock. You guys have to have the ability to watch accounts go up and down and not be bothered. You got to be rock solid. Otherwise, you're not going to get those gains. Most people that probably bought it on the channel, they probably sold out and cashed out. I'm still holding on. I haven't sold a single share. In fact, I accumulated shares on the way up. I am very bullish. Now, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to turn this to the side. And what we've got here is we're trying to come through this area with some resistance. What this is a shoulder, head, shoulder developing. And we could bounce around a little bit before moving higher. We might not. And these patterns, what's developing as we go down is we're getting larger and larger patterns, which means that the upside could be larger and larger. It's like this pattern's unwinding itself, and you're starting to see somewhat of reverse symmetry, which means that the downward move is going to be matching the upward move. And we could pull back, We could pull back here. We could move sideways. We could blow through it. I don't know necessarily what this future is going to hold, but I know that I'm going to hold through it. Oil to gold ratio, the gold to oil ratio is cheap for oil, and we have a crisis on our hands. I'm not going to let a crisis go to waste here. I'm going to hold on. But that's what it looks like. We got like a shoulder, head, shoulder developing, and I'm going to let it ride. Even if we come back a little bit or if we go higher. Either way, I'm letting it ride. Here's Centennial Resource Development. This guy is coming into some resistance. You can tell we got a little bit of a wick at the top and a little red day today. Looking across, looking back out a little bit. I'm going to throw in a... So we broke this trend line here. When that broke, we rocketed higher. This was a buy point there. We have this guy as well coming across. We have right through there, you can see we got like a shoulder, head, shoulder, came out, came back. We're coming up. We're trying to break through some of this resistance through here. We got some resistance there. Now it's like a shoulder, head, shoulder again. And we could just break through and move on up. And in my opinion, this could easily be a stock that breaks its all-time high easily in this next oil supercycle move. So, I mean, throwing out numbers, I mean, this could be a $40 stock. I don't know. $30 or $40 or more, depending on how high oil goes and how bad and deep the crisis could get. But that's what we're looking at. That looks pretty good to me. Here's Callon Petroleum. Again, this thing pulled back. We're coming on up. We're going to hit some resistance here probably pretty soon. I'm just going to hold on. Northern Oil and Gas. This is what the short term looks like. We're coming into some selling pressure here recently. Let's back out a little bit. And guys, I really like these big long-term charts. This is where I get like super bullish. Because when I see things starting to break, like see this right here? It broke out, kind of pulled back a little bit, and we're starting to move on up. This has a long way to go higher. Long way. And I think it looks excellent to go long in. I was buying it all in here. I didn't see this one at the bottom, but I saw it later, and I said, you know what? This has a long way to move up. And it was just almost back testing the downtrend breakout. So I think this has a long way to go higher. And it looks really good to me. And you don't have to buy it right now. You can wait. You can see what happens. You can cost average in, and hopefully we get a pullback and you guys can get cheaper shares. But this looks good for a long-term hold. Here's Crescent Point. I just stayed zoomed out on it. And what I am looking at here is we're trying to break through kind of this area right there. That's what I'm looking at. And we got like a shoulder, a head, and then like a shoulder coming. We're trying to break through this area. It's just hung up right now. And when it breaks, it's probably going to run. So I think that one looks really good for a long-term hold as well. It still hasn't broken out yet. Here's Crew Energy. This thing's been massive. I bought it, I think it was 33 cents or somewhere in here. And I've just been holding on. I bought it when it broke this downtrend. And I'm not doing anything with it. We're just starting to cross the 50-day and 200-day. This thing looks like it's fantastic for a long-term hold. Tetra Technologies, same way. Got in at 50 cents here. September, October was my time. And we've been moving on up. I'm just going to hold on. 50 days crossing the 200-day. And that's what I have. I didn't do a whole bunch of stocks there, but if you take the big picture view, I am investing for the big picture view. I'm not investing in the short term. So I know I've got some people on the channel. They're like, we need an exit strategy. When are we going to sell? When are we going to sell? Guys, I'm not going to sell for a long time. I'm probably going to hold this stuff for another at least 5 years. And I'm going to ride it up and down. I'm going to ride through the seasonality. I'm not concerned about making 100%. I'm going for the big money. And I've got good stakes in them, in these companies. So I'm going for life-changing gains. I'm not worried about the ups and downs in my account. If it goes down, I buy more. If it goes up, I don't buy it. I just hold on. And I'm building out my portfolio for a commodity bull market. If you look at the CRB to S&P 500 ratio, that thing's going higher. So the CRB is outperforming the S&P 500. That's exactly what I was planning to happen. So now I have to ride it. Holding it is where you make your money. You don't make money by buying and selling and transacting and moving all around. You buy the cheap assets and you hold the cheap assets and you ride them up higher. There could be some 100 baggers in here. I have to be able to know and hold through the 100 bagger. And if you guys have smaller accounts, your accounts are going to get bigger and bigger, and you're going to get big swings in terms of dollars. You have to be mentally prepared for those swings. You have to ride through it. At least that's how I view it. I think the bull market's going to be lasting as long as we have an inflationary period in the expansion phase of real estate. That's my opinion. That's the thesis of the channel. So I'm riding it for that. And if you look at some of these long-term charts, we have the 50-day just crossing the 200-day, the golden cross, so to speak, which means that we are starting uptrends. So I'm going to ride these uptrends. I'm going to ride them from bottom to top, baby. That's what my plan is. If you guys want to join, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for the content, and thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.